Hi guys, good morning. This is Dan. Welcome to Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. For those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much for your subscriptions. This is the daily forecast for all signs. It's a broad spectrum collective reading. I do speak in broad terms. If it fits in your life, please by all means use it. If it doesn't fit, that's okay. It doesn't mean anything's wrong or broken. It just might mean you might be working on something different at this time. This reading is originally created for Saturday, October 22nd. It is not solely set for that date. If you're seeing it on a different date and it still fits your situation, by all means utilize it. For those of you that follow along, I will be referencing back to the Sunday reading, which underpins the energy of this reading. And that video pops up in the lower left-hand corner, so you can check that out at the end of this video. For those of you that are new, please check out the drop-down menu in any of the daily videos. In there's some housekeeping rules, things I want you to think about when utilizing my readings, what decks I'm working with, how to contact me via social media, and for a private reading or to follow me on social media, and simple ways to support the channel. Some of those simple ways are hitting that thumbs up button if you enjoy the content, subscribing to the channel, sharing the video out greatly helps, letting your friends know about me, and leaving me a question or comment. I greatly appreciate all of it. Alright, so let's see what's going on with the cards today. Our card for the day is the Fool. The beginning of the major arcana's journey, right? I love how this is depicted as a woman. I never really see the Fool as a woman, but this is innocence, desire, it says, what does it say? Hold on. It says purity, potential, I think that's, risk, innocence, and desire. Oftentimes with the Fool, it can be interpreted in two different ways. I mean, it can be taken literally like being foolish and making a decision without maybe all the facts, right? But generally, as a rule, the Fool is about new beginnings. It's the beginning of the major arcana's journey, right? It's the beginning of something new. It may not be understood by all, right? It might even seem risky or scary. But it's like the thrill or the excitement of standing on that cliff and taking a step over it into a new chapter, into a new idea, into a new opportunity even, or desire or goal can feel not only scary but also thrilling at the same time. And it's really kind of dependent on how we choose to look at it, right? We've seen the Page of Cups in the last 2 days of readings, and I feel like this Fool has got a little bit of that energy in it too. Like if we've been dreaming a little bit through that Page of Cups as to what we want emotionally or what feels good in our imagination, this Fool is about ready to take steps towards moving towards it in a very big way. It can indicate change and opportunity, but it also, like I said, it doesn't represent sort of the, what's the word, like the fear that comes along with that, or the, and it may not be our fear. Like with the Fool card, I always see it as maybe other people outside of us looking at us and saying, what are you doing? Are you crazy? Like, don't do that. You're on a cliff. But it's like she's excited to be there. She's enjoying herself there. She's enjoying herself in the possibility that the Fool represents, right? It's about keeping like an open mind and heart and spirit and moving forward in faith, regardless of the outcome. Even if mistakes are made or things don't pan out, the Fool at least took the risk, right? They at least took the journey. They at least took the chance. And so today, if we've been contemplating something new or changing something or taking a different direction, today might be the day to play in that energy, to like let go of like maybe say our logic more so and follow a little bit of our spirit or our excitement. It's about being open to possibilities and change and shifting in maybe a different direction than we otherwise previously thought possible, right? The Fool is full of a lot of potential, and because the Fool kicks off the journey of the major arcana. So we see, we kind of traverse through all the different cards in their order, and we experience what all of those cards represent. So the Fool is like a beginning or a rebirth in a way, starting fresh, starting new, starting hopefully with some optimism, even in the face of adversity. She stands on this cliff, but yet she's focused more on the flower. She's focused on the beauty, not necessarily the danger of things or the potential of being hurt. And that's where sort of I think the Fool doesn't fit in with societal beliefs, is because, you know, um, uh, society tells us, oh my God, stay safe, stay guarded, hide your emotions, hide your feelings, don't talk about what you really want, don't tell people how you really feel, don't believe in yourself too much. That's not the Fool's energy. The Fool's energy is like, fuck it, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna stand on the edge of the cliff. I'm gonna admire the flowers. I'm gonna listen to the stars. I'm gonna listen to the moon or my intuition or where I feel guided to go. There's a freedom to the Fool. Like, there's almost like, excuse my language, but there's a not giving a fuck energy to the Fool that is very liberating and very freeing, and it opens us up to new pathways. And this being major arcana, this could be a significant new change that we open ourselves up to, that could feel, like I said, exciting and scary at the same time. But what is going to be the emotion that wins out? Are we going to let, it's that old native proverb of the two wolves, one is of love and one is of fear. Which one do you feed? Which one do you want to stay alive? The wolf of love or the wolf of fear, right? The Fool feeds the wolf of love, I think. Not to say that that wolf of fear isn't around the Fool, right? But we can sort of be courageous, be optimistic, be almost innocent in our belief. And that's where that sort of Page of Cups influence comes in too. Innocent in our belief that maybe if we take the risk or we take the steps towards something new, although we may not see the path very clearly or be assured of the outcome, at least we took the chance, right? To me, also, the Fool holds no regrets, right? It's not like with the Fool card, if we take the path of the Fool, or we go out on the new adventure, we don't necessarily regret, well, later, I wish I had done that, or what if I had done that? No, this is like, I did that, and maybe it didn't succeed, like, we don't know, but at least I tried, at least I attempted, at least in that moment I experienced sort of like, we saw the card Joy and the Three of Cups yesterday too. At least I went after the thing that brought me sort of like freedom, reckless abandon, hope, joy, optimism, newness, excitement. That's what the Fool would represent. Now let's look at the Wild Mystic Oracle card. Okay, interesting. It's Koala and it's Protect. So to me, this kind of feels a little bit opposite the Fool, because when I think about protection, the Fool doesn't necessarily think in the terms of protection. So there is this slight balance between these two cards right out of the gate. It's like, yes, we can be open-minded. Yes, we can take new steps. Yes, we can move forward um, uh, uh, in a more open manner. But protect also says, be like wise about it. I almost feel like this Protect card tells me that we're not going to be as on the more Fool side of the atypical Fool of like, oh, you're making a mistake. This is more like, yes, we're open, yes, we're excited, but we're also maintaining a sense of well-being, a sense of protection, and taking right steps. I also love that she has this white circle around her, right? Sort of this moon or this aura about her that she's listening to. So does the koala. And I think that that's kind of an interesting similarity there. And this koala has a little like moon on his forehead, and I'm not sure what this symbol is. I want to say it's the void of course moon, but I don't know. I'm going to read koala to you. So I think like while we're taking steps, maintaining and protecting ourselves too while doing so is possible. We don't have to be totally like nearsighted or unaware. with this protect card in place, right? So protect, this card represents protection from harm and comfort in difficult times. Unlike the Scorpion card, this card encourages a caring and reassuring form of protection, often associated with caregivers. This card is the protection of a safe place, a thick blanket rather than a suit of armor. And I like a thick blanket rather than a suit of armor, meaning a thick blanket would kind of console and comfort the fool. A suit of armor would keep this fool from moving. Does that make sense? So it's like we can move like the fool intelligently in comfort and in protection, in self-care today. Despite its bear-like appearance, the koala is a marsupial. As with most marsupials, koalas care for their young using an abdominal pouch, keeping them safe, close, warm, and nourished. Koalas tend to avoid energy-heavy, hostile behavior unless it is necessary, but can be aggressive and territorial when forced. The koala card represents comforting protection. And this might also say that we're protected as we take our steps forward with the abandon of the fool, right? Like we don't have to worry. Sadly, many myths and legends of Australian Aboriginal peoples have been lost due to their recent history. One surviving story from the great Gumbaynggirr people of New South Wales is that of the Great Flood, in which a little boy uses koala intestines to create a bridge between the islands that emerged from the receding floodwaters. After the bridge was built, the people of Africa joined those of Australia, and the different Aboriginal tribes were born. Much like modern conservation efforts to keep the koala from extinction, this card promotes conservation of nature, protection of culture, and caring for others. The shadow reading is the koala gets very little energy from their diet, so the creature conserves their energy through slow movement and regular rest. Consequently, the koala is often associated with laziness or lethargy. A shadow reading of this card may indicate protection without teeth. It is an offer of safety and comfort without substantiating the offer with action, care, effort, and defense. The correspondences are earth. The flora is eucalyptus, angelica, calendula, and motherwort. The stones are cat's eye, carnelian, chlorite, fluorite, lapis lazuli, and peridot. And the spell work is protection of a loved one, the blessing of a new child, and dispelling of nightmares. That dispelling of nightmares also kind of keeps me in this place of like, don't let our mind get too far into this fool's journey that we might be getting ready to go on. Allow ourselves to remain open, allow ourselves to remain aware, protect ourselves as we're moving forward, but come from a place of comfort, not from a place of defensiveness or fear, right? Also, the nature of the koala would protect itself from a place of ease rather than struggle or defense. Does that make sense? Now let's go to the clarifiers. First out, we have the Chariot, Cancerian energy, major arcana, fast-moving energy, energy movement forward, a balance of both positive and negative, and oftentimes leading to celebration, right? The Chariot can mean it could be a direction this fool wants to go to or towards. We might even have a clearer perspective of exactly what we want and how to get there and begin to move forward in maybe kind of quick ways. The Chariot also, I don't know why I'm hearing the word renewal. So if there's something that we've been thinking about or a change that we've been contemplating making, I feel like this Chariot is like almost invigorating us to move forward towards it with sort of a renewal, precision, swiftness, desire, right? Also, I will say too, this being associated with Cancerian energy, that koala and that nurturing nature of the koala comes in and ties into the Cancerian energy of the Chariot. So while we're moving forward at whatever our pace may be, whether it's fast or slow, we're giving ourselves comfort, self-care, checking in with ourselves as we move, not like wastefully, wasting our energy, our worry, our thoughts on things that aren't necessarily optimistic, caring and compassionate, especially towards the self. And also with this Chariot, directed towards success, directed towards a goal, taking action or movement forward towards that goal. Somewhat, relentless is a strong word, but I feel like the Chariot is like on a very direct path to where it wants to go. The next card is the King of Cups. King of Cups, He is, to me, one of the most sort of emotionally sound cards of the deck. He's not necessarily as, like, I see the Queen of Cups as potentially sometimes being like a little too intuitive, a little bit too much in her emotions, or being overly emotional. This King of Cups, he's more reserved, right? He's in touch with his emotions. He knows what he wants. Kings are always going to make informed, authoritative decisions. They understand what they deserve. They hold high regard for themselves, right? He's standing there or sitting there sort of waiting, and he's also geared towards the future. So if we're looking at our future or our goals or where we want to head through this chariot energy, we're looking at it through the sort of the filter of our emotions. It's almost to me like the imagination of the Page of Cups that we've seen in the last few days. And remember, the Two of Cups from the Sunday reading underpins this. He's focused, he's secure, he's grounded, he's seated, he's at ease, similar to like the protect of the koala. He's not wasting his energy, thoughts, or emotions on things that aren't necessarily productive, is my feeling, especially with that chariot card there. Um, he is associated with the water signs, right? Scorpio, Cancer, and Pisces. So we have a bit of an emotional energy going on here with the chariot also happening. I believe Fool is associated with either the planet Uranus or Aquarius. I can't remember. But regardless, I feel like he's almost, even though he's an emotional card, I feel like he's a stabilizer here in keeping our emotions cool, calm, collected, and focused as we move forward, right? Um, uh, Goals are set more, say, emotionally with an intention of towards the future. He would also signify a little bit of the nurturing of the koala. It would be more nurturing, say, if it was the Queen of Cups to me, but I think that there's a certain amount of the masculine aspect of the king that ties into the protection of the koala that is needed here in this reading, especially with the Fool beginning to maybe make decisions towards going in a direction that could potentially be seen as foolish, dangerous, or risky to others, right? I think that we might need to take our own counsel or listen to our own counsel during this time, and that counsel is not only the direction of the chariot, but also the clarity of the King of Cups. Now let's see the third clarifier. Third clarifier is also movement, but it is Six of Swords. Six of Swords is quieting of the mind, right? Moving to calmer waters. Sixes oftentimes represent balance. There could be an awareness or um, a settling in our mind. And I think that some of that has to do with the emotional security that the king represents and the sort of security and the celebration or the achievement that the chariot can bring with it too. We see movement in both the Six of Swords and the chariot. And I also like that the Six of Swords is here because there's a comfort to it. Remember the blanket part about the koala? That woman is in the boat wrapped in a warm blanket. I think that's interesting. I think that there's a nurturing here of this gondolier or this man pushing the boat and bringing this family to a safer, more calmer place. The king is kind of guiding it, in my opinion, as I'm looking at this. He's using wise counsel, wise decisions, experience, but from an emotional place that's sort of grounded and centered in love, right? Underneath all of this is this Two of Cups. So even if this is, you know, moving towards our loved one or towards a better relationship or moving towards a better relationship within ourselves, I think we're set up for success. We just need to calm our mind, listen to our heart or our emotions, um, maintaining that they are clear, right? That they are grounded, that they are knowing that they are wise, that they've indicated or the things we've learned in our life prepare us to take new steps or new journeys into next chapters. And that's kind of the excitement the Fool represents. We will be moving towards it successfully, and it should bring about balance and peace, especially mentally, through these other cards. Now, let's go to the grounding stone. Aha! Speaking of emotional wisdom, the grounding stone today is wisdom. Now, not only do I see emotional wisdom in the in the King of Cups, very much so. I also feel like, the Fool would be considered to lack wisdom in a way, right? But with this King of Cups in the center, and then the balancing that I feel that comes from the Six of Swords, right? The quieting of the mind and the balancing of the thoughts and the communication, the moving to calmer waters, and the setting up of the movement of the Chariot, and honestly, the idea of the protection, the awareness that the koala represents, they all kind of balance out or bring in wisdom that sets the Fool up for the success of the next steps or the next chapter. And that Chariot indicates that movement being swift and successful also, and nurturing because of the Cancerian energy of it all. So, grounding in our own wisdom, whether it be emotional or more so emotional because of the Cancerian energy and the King of Cups there, but also mental because the Six of Swords indicates an emotional sort of settling of thoughts and a clearer, more balanced type of communication moving forward into the future. As we're doing that, we're communicating maybe more from our heart and what we truly need with the King of Cups there. We're assured success. We're taking care of ourselves through that Chariot and the Cancerian energy. We're protecting ourselves, comforting ourselves during the journey, even if we're traversing new chapters that might feel exciting, yes, because that's the Fool, but also maybe a little risky. Maybe we have friends telling us, oh no, you shouldn't do that, or this is crazy. But the Fool's like, yeah, no, but I gotta go. I gotta do this. Um, we have the wisdom to take ourselves there, or at least to go through the process and at the very least learn from the journey, even if we make mistakes. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense today. I'm really excited to see what tomorrow's cards bring because we'll be starting a new weekly. Underpinning all of this is the Two of Cups, so remain in love, guys. That is your reading for the day. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, leave me a question or comment, and please, please, please share the video out to help me build my audience. I do appreciate each and every one of you that watches, and I will see you guys all tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye-bye.